So I am a music snob. Well, not a music snob. I'm a gear snob. I'm a gear snob in the way that I don't need. I want to have the best possible equipment that I can get my hands on for what I can afford. I'm like it with everything. I'm like it with all my microphones. I'm like it with the sound treatment, lights, the camera. But more importantly, I'm very much like it with guitars. I don't know why, because I'm not a multi-millionaire, but I was quite lucky that I learned on a pretty good guitar when I was younger, and my father had a Takamine from Japan, which I learned on at about 13. So I was quite lucky in the fact that I didn't have to, slog it out on some old piece of Encore junk from Argos or some, or from any sort of catalogue kind of shop. And I've carried this with me through my entire life. Now, this is my job. I'm a professional musician and I'm a producer, and I just feel that in order to get the best out of the sound, as the adage says, shit in, shit out. We've got to get the best possible instruments to do the job. Now, about 2 weeks ago, I had a guy came into the studio he was laying down some guitar tracks for me for a track called Long Way Down, which is yet to be released. And he brought with him a Telecaster and a Dan Electro. I think I'm saying it right. Probably not. And it was a 12-string electric guitar. Now, I've had 12-string guitars in the past, but always in acoustic. I've had one, and it was a Takamine, and it wasn't very good. The action was really high, and it was a pain in the arse, the bloody tune. So subsequently, I got rid of it, and I've never looked at them ever since again. Until now, when this gentleman came into the studio to lay some guitar tracks. As I've said, it was a Dan Electro, but it was a 12-string electric guitar. So it was running into like Valhalla delays and reverbs and eventide stuff, which obviously makes things sound, massive. So in between the session, I picked up the guitar and I had a go on it and was instantly sold. It was brilliant. From a songwriting perspective, which is my main thing really. I'm not a very good guitar player. I learnt on acoustic. I'm okay with rhythm. I'm an abysmal lead player, which is why I got this guy in to do the leads for me, because I'm unspeakably bad at lead. It's just something I've never really, gone down the road in. I mean, songwriting's been my thing, so I've just concentrated on that, and I've concentrated on rhythm. But this 12-string was just like, it was an eye-opener. I thought, man, the stuff I could do with this is going to be amazing. So when he left, I thought, right, I've got to get one. And me being me, I thought, right, I'll probably spend a few quid and get a decent one. Although I'm not going to be using it, a lot. It's not going to be my main guitar because I've got lots of guitars, and they're all 6 strings. So doing a bit of research, it became apparent that the higher end models, which are the Rickenbackers, were just ridiculous money. And well, I say ridiculous money. I mean, it's probably worth it if you're just solely a 12-string player and that's your main instrument. But it wasn't going to be for that. So dropping 2-3 grand on a Rickenbacker was just not viable. It just wasn't going to happen. So I thought, right, let's just go down to the mid tier. And I had a little look around, and it was stuff like the Dan Electro was coming up, and the Guild Starfire was another one I was looking at. So they were about 600-700 quid. So I went down a little bit further, and then there was the Harley Benton, I think they called that, Harley Benton, and rightly or wrongly, there's no way I'm playing a Harley Benton. It just would not bode well in my collection. It would stick out like a sore thumb, and I just I just wouldn't feel compelled to pick it up and do anything with it. I just wouldn't do it. And I'm sorry for all Harley Benton owners out there. I'm sure it's a great guitar, and I'm sure it serves you well. But for me, it just wasn't for me. So I was almost going to buy the Starfire, but then another producer friend of mine said, "Have you tried have you seen the Squier Paranormal series?" And again, I was just like, "Squier, what? No chance!" Like, I mean, there's no way I'm going to be playing a Squier, because in my mind, Squier was always the entry level guitar for people who were learning guitar, to find out if they, if the instrument was going to be right for them. Or the guitar was going to be right for them, and if they didn't, they could just put it away. So straight away, I was just like, no chance, I'm not buying Squier. However, I did a lot of research, and I found out that the Paranormal series is a bit of a different beast. Squier now are a lot different from what I gather to what they used to be 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and now they're in. They're in the, what they're trying to do is I think from the top end models is to try and sort of nail the lower end guitar, or the mid to lower end, because some of them aren't that cheap. So I looked at this 12-string electric guitar. It's the Paranormal Squier Paranormal Jazzmaster, and I thought, right, I'll order it from Scan. I'll order it from Scan, and if I don't like it, which I was fully expecting not to like it, I thought, right, I can just send it back to him, and I can, I'll probably just get a Dan Electro or something, or the Guild. So I ordered it this week, and it came yesterday. Nightmare with DPD, as always with me. I don't know why they don't really like me, and here it is. It's as you can see, it's a weird looking thing. It's a Jazzmaster body, but it doesn't have the rhythm circuit. It's quite stripped down, it's bare bones, which is fine for me, because I'm just buying it purely on the basis that it's a 12-string. And it's got some weird neck on it, and weird headstock on it, which is based on the electric Electric 12 XI, if you want, through the Roman numerals thing, which is what they do. And if you were to buy one of those, if you were to buy one of the X11s, you're looking at £7,000. Now, who's going to buy a £7,000 guitar unless you're a dentist or a lawyer or something like that? Because I'm telling you now, musicians aren't buying £7,000 guitars because we just don't do that. And so I got this, and here it goes. So I got this, and it arrived, as I said, this week, and I'm quite taken aback by it, if I'm honest. Again, being a self-confessed guitar snob, I wasn't expecting much, but it is really, really nice. It's got a fantastic build. The build quality is fantastic. It's got a poplar body, whatever that is. I've never heard of poplar. It's a wood. I think it's a fairly cheap wood, but that doesn't bother me. I certainly don't go down the road with different types of woods in the guitar make a difference. By all means, flame me in the comments for that, but I don't buy into it. I think it's nonsense. I think most of the stuff's coming from the pickups and the setup of the guitar. Acoustic guitars, totally different ball game, and that is all down to the wood and how thin they can get the wood so it vibrates. But with something like this, I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever. But again, you can all disagree with me and say, it's totally different. For me, it's exactly the same with the argument of maple and rosewood fingerboards. I've been doing this for like 30 years, and I can't tell a difference, and I would say my ear is pretty good. But like I said, I can't tell a difference. Yeah, so they call this headstock the hockey stick. Is something like that. And it's a £400 guitar. And £400 guitar to some people might be a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. I'm certainly not going to argue with that. But for someone like myself who's been buying expensive guitars for a long time, it's not a lot of money, and it was just worth a punt. And I'm glad I took that punt, because it's without a doubt the best value instrument I've ever bought. Build quality, it's very close to my my Fender American Professional 2, which is just by here. I'll just get that out for you so you can see it. This is my American Professional 2. This cost me just under £2,000 with, when I had it set up properly. I had to pay for that as well. And, is the Squier as good as this? The build quality is pretty close. Is it as good as this? No. Why would Fender aren't going to make something that is that's for £400 that you're just going to buy, and not bother going for something like this. There's something. Initially I thought that it was close, but last night I was back and forth on this, and I was playing. I was playing, back to back, and the American series. All right, it's all CNC'd. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's CNC'd in China or if it's CNC'd in America. But there's something within the soul of this guitar. I don't know if that's what it is. It's got something that when you play it, it feels alive, and it's like I said, it's very close in terms of the way they look, in terms of the way it's built, but there's something missing in this guitar that this has. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Like I said, I'm not a full-on guitarist, but there's something in that has got some kind of grunt to it. However, this is very close. Very, very close. I mean, I was expecting to do a lot of work on the fretboard. It doesn't need much. It's not far off the American Pro. It's got a lacquered back or a gloss back, which I don't usually like, and I was going to sand it, but the more I'm playing it, it doesn't really bother me. It's quite quick. Being a 12-string, and having the experience of a 12-string, it's always in the back of your mind, this is going to be a nightmare to tune. But I've tuned it once. I've snapped the string already on it, so I've got to sort that out. Restringing it is going to be an absolute nightmare. It's not something I'm looking forward to doing. It's got some weird string tree there, which I haven't got my glasses on, so I haven't quite worked out what string goes in which. But being a 12-string guitar, it stays. I tuned it yesterday, and I've woken up today. I've come into the studio, strummed it, and it was bang on. It was just perfectly, just bang on. There's some weird buzz coming from it, which I suspect is the nut. So it's not perfect. The jack plug is garbage. So I'm going to change that straight away. I mean, am I going to send it back to scan with? Like I said, there's something wrong with the nut. There's something wrong with one of the headstocks. The jack is garbage, but I'm not going to send it back to scan for them to fix that, because it's just a waste of time. I'll just pay for it and get this done as best as I possibly can. I mean, I've seen a lot of people saying that these pickups are from the classic vibe, and I've seen a lot of people saying that they're gonna change out the pickups, and I'm sure new pickups would make it slightly better, maybe. I don't know, but am I going to do that? I don't think so. I mean, I was initially looking at, doing a fair bit to it, but so am I going to throw money at a £400 guitar? No, I'm just going to use it as is. The pickups are fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They're clean, and they've got a great sound. They've got this. You can get quite. I mean, if you're using modelling amplifiers like me, I don't use amps. I've just got neural, or I've got something like I use Electrum. I use all the Eventide stuff, so I can get really massive, ethereal sort of landscapes of this soundscapes of this guitar, which is how I play. I'm not really into sort of like the dirty stuff, even though I did a little bit of that just for you guys to see. But all in all, this is an unbelievable deal. I mean, if you're in the market, I haven't played any of the Paranormal series, but if they're like this, I mean, if they're in the same sort of category or of the same sort of quality, then yeah, it's definitely definitely worth looking into if you're on a budget. I mean, could these be used professionally? Yeah. I mean, people saying that Squiers aren't professional instruments. Why not? I mean, the only difference you're getting with the Pro 2 is, like I said, is that certain special something that Fender have got within the playing and within the bites, within the crunch, within the quality feel of the instrument. Now, that's not to say this isn't quality, but it's not quite Fender professional level. But why would it be? It's 400 quid. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking to get if you're looking to get an instrument for about 400 quid, and I mean, you could change the pickups, you could do whatever you want with it, I suppose. The only other thing about this as well is the fretboard is so thirsty. It really needs some attention. I've just ordered some of this wax from Monty's Guitars. I spoke to George, nice one, George, who I spoke to yesterday. He's sending me some over to put on this, and he did send me over some pickups to have a look at, and so I might put them in. I don't know if I can be asked, because it's a right faff. But I'll put some of this food wax on the fretboard. I'm sure it'll come up nice. But yeah, it's made in China, which, I mean, I've got an Eastman 486, which is made in China, and I think that's better, or 436, whatever it is, and that's better than the 335 Gibson. Gibson, you never get the same guitar twice. So yeah, all in all, I mean, if you're in the market for a 12 string, I played the Dan Electro. I don't think it's as good as this. I think this is better. So yeah, I would definitely have a look into it. I mean, obviously it's not a Fender. Well, it is a Fender, but it's their subsidiary. I think what they're doing, and I think it's quite clever, I think they're really trying to... There's a lot of budget guitars, and I don't think you get bad cheap guitars anymore. Again, this isn't cheap, but I don't think you get bad cheaper instruments anymore, because there's so much competition out there that all these manufacturers and these companies have got to step their game up. And I think what Fender have done is they've gone, right, and especially with the Paranormal series, they've gone, right, we've got an opportunity here to just sew it up. Epiphone, are they making as good quality guitars? I don't know. I haven't played them, but if you can get a guitar at this price point and it's close enough to a Fender, then why not? So go on. But for Christ's sake, I've seen people do it. Don't rub off the Squier logo and put fucking a Fender logo on there. Don't do that. Just enjoy it for what it is. It's a Squier. It's a great instrument. Be proud of it. So, yeah, that's my 10 pence worth. If you like it, if you're in the market for a 12 string, that would be my advice. So I hope this helps. And if you've got any questions, leave them down in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them, because I probably haven't covered everything. But yeah, it's a decent guitar, and I think Squier are doing really well at the moment, and they are now on my radar. Would I buy a Squier? I don't know. I mean, maybe I would. I mean, I was looking for a Jazzmaster, but I've kind of got one now. I mean, this is the kind of guitar that is great to have in your arsenal. It's so I don't really need like a Telecaster and a Stratocaster, in my opinion, because I think the crossover is just too close, and I think you can get the same sort of sound for me, for my kind of playing. Again, I'm not that good of a guitarist. I'm more of a singer and a songwriter. But you know, do I need more than, I say, do I need more than 6 guitars? That's quite a lot of guitars. No, I mean, I think that if you can get if you can get yourself a decent Strat or Tele, I mean, something like this is just a novelty. You can just put it on recordings, and it's going to bring that. It's going to bring a different texture, a different flavour into it, which is why I've got it. So yeah, I hope this helps. And if there are any questions that you want to shoot at me, or just give me a shout. So my name's Ben. Please subscribe to the channel. I do these reviews now and again, but most of it I just post all my own music on there. But I thought I'd do this, give people a little bit of an insight, because there's lots of stuff on YouTube about this guitar, and it's all positive. But there are a couple of negatives, but not many. And certainly for the price point, I would say it's just a massive positive. And if you're in the market for a decent guitar, that's the way to go. So yeah, cheers.